G'day one, how are you doing? Hopefully doing very well, keeping healthy. So I'm doing pretty good on this side of the town. Now, Lenovo have actually announced and launched their workstation range for the 2023. This is both the mobile workstation and also the desktop workstation class computers. And I thought I'd make a quick video just to decipher and also just to help you and give you a little bit extra information on these new workstation class from Lenovo. Now, I'm going to bring up my slides. Just give me a little hand here for this, and hopefully this will give you a bit of visual as well. And first off is, before I get started, I just want to actually mention that all the processors have been upgraded to the Intel Core 13 Gen. Now, at the moment, from this making of this video and or from the notes I've got from Lenovo, I only currently at the moment see the Intel version. I don't see any AMD versions in these mobile workstations or the workstation class computers yet, but I do know there are some coming very soon for the desktop workstation class, and for the mobile workstation class, I'm expecting some AMD version as well. As I can see some of the code names, you'll see I at the end, but for this presentation, you'll just see I won't actually include eyes, as we're just going to concentrate on the Intel version. So let's get moving along here. Now, first off is the flagship mobile workstation, and that is the ThinkPad P16 Gen 2. Now, as from last year, as we saw, they're starting to ditch all the 17-inch and just move to this nice sweet spot of the 16-inch, and this is the Gen 2. Now, it is running the 13 Gen Intel Core, and it is the HX series. Now, you can get up to an i9 on these, and you can see the amount of memory it can take is a whopping 192 gigs. Oof, that is a lot of memory. And these can be ECC memory as well. That's something different, isn't it? Now, it is showing across 4 SO-DIMM slots, and you got 2 M.2 slots for storage, which are Gen 5, just to make a note of this. And for the discrete graphics, you can have optionals all the way up to NVIDIA RTX A5000. So these are the production and the good old what we used to call quadros. These are your production graphics cards to help those really nice professional works here, and they're certified. Now, there is also 4 options for the display. I'm going to let you read it, but I'm going to make a bit of a key point here, and I can see this throughout a lot of the new ThinkPad P series, and that is that including an OLED version. As you can see, one of these will be multi-touch, and they've got quite a bit of nice brightness. But the other one I also want to point out, especially in the P16 Gen 2, is they also have this IPS at a 800 nits, a whopping brightness there. That is bright. I definitely noticed that. So I'm just giving you an idea of that. So there are 4 options for the P16 Gen 2. Now, the next one that we'll see on the line is the ThinkPad P1 Gen 6. Now, with the ThinkPad P1, now this is a little bit of a cut down version of the P16. So it is using the H series processors, and it does have the capability of supporting up to 96 gigs of memory. Now, this is running off 2 SO-DIMM slots again, and this one here, unlike the P16, this one does not have support for ECC memory. So if you want ECC memory support, then you need the P16 Gen 2. And again, it still has the 2 slots of M.2, and you'll see also that the actual storage is now PCI Gen 4, so faster storage ability in the P16. Now, as for the discrete graphics, you're looking at also the up to the NVIDIA RTX A5000, but just like all the others for the previous gen of the P1, it also has the ability to go for the gamer support, the actual graphics card of the GeForce series, and that is the RTX 4090, which you can put in there. So you can either have one of those two. That is the capable of this. So this is what is kind of like a bridge between a workstation class as well as also a gamer, if you want to call it. But this one has the speed of that. But if you want stability, then you actually want the RTX A5000 or the A series there for that one there. Now this one again only has 3 options for the display, and again you'll see the OLED option as their ability there. I think I'm gonna enjoy seeing that. Hopefully I get to see that in this channel and we actually have a play with it anyway. Now the next part is we're gonna do two entry models, which is the ThinkPad P14S, which is now Gen 4 now, and also the P16S Gen 2. Now, what's the difference between them? Of course, one is 14-inch, one is 16-inch. Now, I'm just going to go through both exact same time, just to give you an idea, because they both share the same sort of properties, just in different sizing chassis. Now, of course, I'm just going to make a little bit of a difference here, just to let you know that with the actual memory, it is running soldered memory on for up to 64 gigs. Now, I also see in the specs that there is another version of this on both the P14S and also the P16S, is that it is capable, if you're just using integrated graphics, there is a version which actually has one SODIMM slot, which is capable of 32 gigs of RAM, and then it also has 16 gigs of soldered memory, which makes it a total of 48 gigs. Now, that is probably the integrated version, but if you've got the discrete graphics version, then it is all completely soldered to the system board. So if you're going to grab the discrete graphics folder, make sure you get the correct amount of memory configured, as you won't be able to upgrade it later on any of these computers here. Now, as for the storage, it is got one slot of M.2, and it is Gen 4 for that one there, and also it has the capable of having the discrete graphics of the NVIDIA RTX A500. And again, with the displays, that I forgot to mention that all the displays on all of these displays have an aspect ratio of 16:10, and again, you'll see the OLED versions on this. Now, with the P14S, you get 6 display options, and with the P16 there's only actually 4 options, but with the P14 is because there is actually a privacy guard version there, they will see that is the add extra, just a little bit different there as well. Now we're going to move to the next one, which is the ThinkPad P16B. What is the ThinkPad P16B? This is kind of like a bridging sort of laptop mobile workstation between your entry model, which is the P16S, and also the P16 Gen 2, the full-blown version. So this one is kind of like just like in between. It is good for that, and you'll see it also has the capable for memory of up to 96 gigs of memory. This does not have the ECC memory support. If you need ECC memory support, again, you've got to go to the P16 Gen 2. You've got to go full blown there, and this one has 2 slots of M.2, and with the graphics, this hasn't got the amazing capabilities of the P16 Gen 2. This one only goes up to the RTX A2000, and this one also does not actually have the OLED version for it, but there is 3 different displays, as you can see here. Now we're going to move over to the desktop workstation class. Now this is the ThinkStation P3. Now there are actually 3 versions. There is the Tower, the Ultra, and the Tiny. So we're going to start with the Tower first. Now this is kind of like your entry model to the workstation desktop computers. They've got some bigger whoppers and bigger brothers there, that I can definitely tell you that, but this is the first one. Now with the Tower, there's about 27-liter chassis here, and it is capable of going to the i9. Now it has the ability for 128 gigs of memory. Now, because of the chipset it does have, which is the Intel W6080, it has support for ECC memory. So there, that's really sweet. Now this also, because of being such a large case, it has the ability to take in 4 SATA hard drives, and also has a 1 slot of M.2 for your fast storage. Now as for the discrete graphics, it can be optioned with is up to the NVIDIA RTX 5500. Now we also have with the power supply, you can see it supports up to 1100 watts, which is quite a bit, and you can actually fit quite a bit there on this one here. So this is really nice. Now then we go to like the next one here, which is the 4-liter one. Now this is like the kind of cut down version of the Tower, which also again, it does support up to the i9, and it also has that chipset of the W680, which has the ECC memory support, and again it has 128 gigs capable for the DDR5. There is a bit of a difference with the memory, and the difference between the P3 Tower and also the P3 Ultra, the actual memory support is a little bit different. With the Tower, the actual memory is SO-DIMM slots, whereas the Ultra, it actually uses the UDIMM slots. So that's just something to note, just to be note of if you're doing upgrades, especially the IT department, just to know there is going to be two different types of RAM between the Ultra and the Tower. And we've got 2 slots of M.2, and this time we only have, because of the size of the actual chassis, we have support of 1 SATA hard drive. Now, with this, has a very funny sort of different with the discrete graphics. It goes up to the RTX A2000, and also there is the ability to actually put the RTX 5500 mobile version of the graphics, which is kind of just what you call a laptop version of that graphics, so we can do it. And of course, because of the size difference here, it is power supply only goes up to a maximum capable of 300 watts, and that's probably the reason why that the actual graphics is only up for the mobile for the 5500. And the last but not least is our nice little tiny, which I absolutely love. Now this is actually great on a lot of either desktop computers, even like your media centers, and also I see them in digital signage. I love this little laptop here. Now this is the ThinkStation P3 tiny. This is about sub 1 liter, and again you have the 13th gen Intel core, and it goes up to i9. Now this one has the capability of going to 64 gigs of memory. This is a DDR5, and it does run in SO-DIMM slots. Now again, this has 2 slots of M.2. There is no space to actually put a SATA hard drive, so only 2 slots of M.2, and it has the option you can actually put the discrete graphics of the NVIDIA T1000, and the power supply is still 300 watts. Hopefully you find this very useful, or just even just getting a nice good broad over idea, and hopefully I'll actually get some of these computers on the channel to actually review. Now I hope you find this video informative and enjoyed it. If you did, and support my channel, smash that like button for me. Also share this video, it does help me out, and as always, imperfections in life makes it beautiful and interesting, and I'll see you next video.